A couple of you guys might remember some drama with Mizkif in the past. There was some drama about Mizkif, for example, being accused of downplaying some sexual misconduct allegations. There was some drama of him being involved in a lawsuit due to defamation. There was some drama about him getting in a fight with one of his own friends. And his reputation, and it appears that even his mental health, has been on a very, very unfortunate decline as of late. So I want to look at this article to sort of jog our memory of what happened in the last 2 years with Mizkif. Because all of what's going on right now, all of this drama that this guy is gonna be like, all of the crash outs that this guy is eventually going to catch in the following days, weeks, is it has been brewing for 2 years. I want to take a little bit of a walk down memory lane, a little bit of a retrospective, and see what exactly is going on before we touch into some of the recent stuff. The fallout regarding a Twitch streamer's gambling scam has taken a dramatic and disturbing turn as one streamer involved has been accused of covering up a sexual assault, which has been Mizkif. Yesterday, news broke that its Slicker scammed fellow streamers out of hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to support a sports gambling addiction. Now, for those of you who don't remember this drama, Slicker had apparently kept asking his buddies, like, "Hey, I need a little bit of money, I'll pay you back. Hey, I need a little bit of money to pay my bills, I'll pay you back." And he asked several individuals for a couple grand, which he instead would then go around and gamble with, and then just spend all of their money, just waste all of their money. That news, in turn, prompted several prominent streamers, including Pokimane, Asmon Gold, and Hasanabi, to call for the banning of slot gambling on Twitch, despite the fact that Slicker's gambling wasn't slots. For those of you who recall, this was a huge contention because this is like a lot of people, for example, will catch flack today for not standing on their principles that they had in the past, as recently as 2 years ago, as recently as 3 years ago. This was September 2022. For example, Hassan, Pokimane, they all called for the banning of gambling back then. They all rallied behind it. They thought it was a good thing to do because, my principles, blah, 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 blah. One of the streamers calling for the Twitch gambling ban and a potential boycott of Twitch to further the issue was Mizkif, owner of OTK Network.
Slicker, you understand that people don't think that you look or sound remorseful at all, right?
I'm never going to ask anyone anymore. The why? If I didn't get caught, I would have still asked.
Basically, what happened is...
So, yeah. Slicker was a scumbag, proven a scumbag. Some people forgave him. A lot of others didn't. So yeah, there was a bunch of community infighting back in the day, which led to Trainwrecks taking a huge shot at Mizkif. Trainwrecks TV responded with a now bombshell accusation heard around the Twitch community that Mizkif was responsible for covering up a sexual assault perpetrated for a close friend. And then Mizkif got into a lot. Mizkif got a lot of reputational damage after this. Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up all those sexual assaults, you fucking scumbag piece of shit? You want to come at me and make shit up? Then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure. At this point, we enter the second and most disturbing half of this story, and the main thrust of the current controversy. The sexual assault in question was allegedly committed by Crazy Slick, who was a friend of Mizkif and was at one time his housemate. Crazy Slick allegedly assaulted Adriana Lee, a Texas-based streamer, in a stream posted yesterday. Adriana Lee claimed Crazy Slick sent her sexually charged messages without her consent and assaulted her while she was passed out at a party. After that incident, Adriana Lee claimed she was coerced into coming forward about the assault and was coached by Mizkif and his then-girlfriend on what to say. And this is where things get juicy.
That a lot of people say, well, why did you come out about it? Why did you say something? I was asked to say something and almost sent to say something by Maya and Mizkif. Thank you, Bird, for the prime. Because it wasn't like, drama whore, Adriana Lee. Drama whore shouldn't have even said anything if she's so upset for the backlash. Drama whore, all this shit. It's actually ridiculous. You guys need to stop dick riding, for real. I was told to say something by Biz and Maya. And let's not forget, let's not forget this. Okay.
All right, so this was a huge drama back in the day. Crazy Slick made a response. I never sexually assaulted anyone and never will. I've never had any intentions of ever harming anyone. I go out of my way back to check on someone and I get accused of rape. This is unfair. I will be getting a lawyer ASAP, learn from Johnny Depp's situation and think first. Yeah. Yep. So this was a very messy situation. And then Mizkif, again, kept being accused of downplaying the situation.
It's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit and really cared. I'm gonna turn this off if you're gonna be like this. I'll just turn it off. Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit and really cared. I'm gonna turn this off if you're gonna be like this. I'll just turn it off.
Yikes.
YouTube and Twitch content creator Mizkif has announced that the court has rejected the allegations made against him in 2022. The allegations caused considerable controversy in the streaming community at the time, followed by a defamation lawsuit filed in 2023 by Adriana Lee against Twitch streamer Mizkif. So yeah, she did end up suing him for downplaying the sexual assault. The OTK organization and Mizkif's company, the suit accused the defendants of making false statements about Lee, which led to a loss of reputation, followers, sponsors, and income. September 2022, Adriana Lee accused Crazy Slick of assaulting her at a 2021 party, claiming that Mizkif and his ex-girlfriend Maya Higa had encouraged her to downplay the incident to protect Crazy Slick. Mizkif later apologized for minimizing the situation, and OTK placed him on unpaid leave while a third-party law firm conducted an investigation. Although the investigation found no direct evidence of a cover-up, OTK criticized Mizkif's lack of empathy and suspended his board duties, allowing him to return under probation. The decision provoked a backlash with many in the Twitch community questioning the investigation's conclusions and OTK's response. And recently, all of this has been been talked about or at least been shaded again by multiple other people in the community. And that's where we're about to get to. In a recent YouTube video titled "It's Time to Talk," Mizkif shared his perspective on the fallout from the allegation that had been made against him. He explained that 2 years ago, a false narrative about him was spread by another content creator, which he felt was fueled by dishonest intentions. Mizkif mentioned that the sexual assault cover-up story was taken up by many, including well-known YouTubers, who spread lies without understanding the truth or trying to find it. Consequently, the accusations caused significant damage to his reputation and personal life. Mizkif then announced that the court had rejected all allegations against him after a long legal battle, which is what we're gonna get into next. It's only a quick video. It's only a quick 8-minute video. But yes, the situation was very insane back in the day. Some people back in the day thought that Mizkif absolutely covered up a sexual assault, that he was trying to downplay it, that he was trying to, run cover for his friend, although it's very difficult to prove that that's the case or not. Did a sexual assault occur? I mean, I guess that's up to opinion.
You are falling for pure PR spin.
Am I?
The suit against him had nothing to do about about covering up something sexually, right? It was about whether Mizkif defamed her and whether it caused loss of income for her.
I don't think I fell for that.
Of whether or not.
I don't think I fell for that. I don't think I fell for that because that's not the narrative. That is not the narrative
of a cover up.
That's not the narrative. That's not the narrative that I'm that's not the narrative that I'm following.
He's trying to spin.
That is how the story.
There was no evidence to any of the allegations against them. That's not what the court found. The court found that Adriana Lee had insufficient evidence to prove that there was any defamation that was incurred against her. This is separate. Because
okay, so I guess I must have worded it really poorly, but I'll let you explain. Go ahead.
Why Adriana Lee came out against Mizkif, in particular, was Mizkif tried to ice her out of the Austin community of streamers, allegedly, and told other people that he wouldn't work with them if she was going to be at these events. So what he is trying to say is that the court dismissed all these allegations made against him in 2 years ago. It's not true. What the court dismissed was Adriana Lee's claim that Mizkif had defamed her to try and ice her out of the Austin streamer community. What people are saying now, with it's all alleged, well, this allegedly happened, who knows if he covered it up, it's not alleged. He's admitted to this. He's copped to this. We have Mitch Jones. We have Maya Higa. We have Mizkif himself, Adriana Lee, Crazy Slick, and we've got non-streamers who are around this corroborating these details. There are very, very few lines that are not filled in at this point, and there are 3 leaked calls that you can go over. 6 hours worth of evidence of everyone confirming, yes, Mizkif did send Maya Higa and Mitch Jones over. Yes, Mitch Jones and Maya Higa, at Mizkif's request, checked over the Google document that Adriana Lee was going to be put out. There was huge streamers doing big clout moves to try and ease the situation and cultivate this person's public response and what they were going to say publicly, because they admittedly were worried about their friend Crazy Slick, and they had no idea what was going to go on, but the only reason they were going over there was to try and mitigate the public circumstance. because there would be no other reason to. If they want to know what went on, which is what they initially tried to say, that was the only reason why they went over to go and ask Adriana Lee. After, by their own admission, they'd been blowing up her phone and she gave them no response. The only reason they went over is because they wanted to find out what happened. Now the question would be, if that's what you want, why not just wait for the Google document that you know is going to drop? Well, the only reason to go over before the Google document and ask to see and review the Google document before it can be released is so you can alter what happened. No, the bullshit PR that Mizkif is trying to release and trying to spin, and he has been for almost a year now, is that the court dismissing this case against them proves that there
he's
isn't
innocent.
a case against
Yeah,
them
that
in the
he was
public
innocent of
sphere.
it. Yeah.
It's just not true.
Yeah.
It's like if I tried to sue you for like throwing my jam sandwich
Okay,
on
to
the
be
floor,
to be very clear,
I fail.
to be
and
very
then
clear.
you can say, well, I never even
No,
sold
wait,
Lucas jam
slow
to begin
down,
with.
slow down. To be very clear,
Okay.
I'm not buying into Mizkif's narrative, so to speak. I am what's it called? What's the word that I'm looking for? I am being somewhat vague because I don't remember a lot of the details because I didn't cover this back then, right? Thank God you know the details. So I'm trying not to like set up myself to get, brutally fucking raped by platforming misinformation, which is why I'm like being vague. But that's why I said I am glad that you are like, now giving me details.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally fine. But if you look at this video that you've got up on stream right now and you watch this, he never talks about the allegations because he can't talk about the allegations. He can ride off the public impression that, well, the case was
did
dismissed.
nothing.
Damn.
I
Maybe that was
do-
a whole nothing burger.
I do
Maybe
remember.
he didn't do anything. All he talks about here is his like mental health, and he just cries
Yeah,
about
yeah,
being like
yes.
depressed and stuff for a little
Yes,
while.
yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna pivot into because I remember back like 5 months ago when this video came out. When this video came out and when it was announced that his case got thrown out, people didn't buy it. People didn't buy that this is that he was like 100% innocent. People kept calling him a scumbag, kept poking and prodding at him over the fact that he does have a little bit of a shady past and isn't entirely squeaky clean with the whole Elena situation. The whole reason why I brought this up in the first place was so that I can get into the whole FaZe drama, so that I can point out that no, these people have reasonable concern to like out him, and he's acting like he's above it when in reality he's obviously has his own skeletons and demons to face and fight with.
Okay.
Mhm,
It's just because a
mhm,
couple days
mhm.
ago, I saw that you'd left a message somewhere talking about false allegations made against Mizkif. And
No,
now it seems to say that
I told
yeah, the
you,
court
I
dropped the
told
case 'cause
you
the allegations were false.
I told you within okay, that must like that was actually like terrible wording for me. I'll take the L on that. Yeah, you got me on that. Absolutely.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
play.
What I said is
Fair.
that what I said is that we should probably want to look into this and go back into a little bit of the history of Mizkif so that we can figure out that whole false allegation bullshit to then tie it to today's drama because like I said in the beginning of the segment, this has been like a story that has been boiling for 2 years, right? It's not just something that is like only recently recently going on, like Tectone fighting against Twitch or Asmongold fighting against Hassan or Ethan Klein throwing shots at Denims and Casey Tron and Frogan. This is something that requires a lot of what's the word? A lot of digging.
A careful eye.
Yeah. A lot of digging to
Yeah.
to compare what is being said now, to compare what is being talked about now in retrospect, right? Because this stuff happened in the past. These people are now having these dramas because of stuff that happened in the past. But why exactly does Mizkif feel like he's slighted when, in my opinion, it is reasonable that some individuals would have a concern as to not want an individual like Mizkif around? And then he'll go around crashing out on on streams saying how he doesn't need FaZe, how he doesn't need any of these individuals, how he worked strongly to build OTK, but you know that was the whole plot of the
I'll tell you what's going on with Mizkif, okay?
All right.
He can't take the L. He can't take accountability. It's like the Ludwig stuff that's gone on recently with Mango, right? How
Yeah.
he's saying that he doesn't feel guilty for it. It's that times fucking 20, dude. He's a complete narcissist. He can't admit that he's done anything wrong. And he can't admit that anyone has valid criticism or a valid reason to distance from him. He says it's all bullshit. He never did anything. He was just trying to protect his friend. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I appreciate you taking my call. I appreciate being able to call in.
Anytime,
Maybe I've given
anytime.
you a little bit more details with that. But yeah.
Do you have
I'll be
any links or sources that I can that I can work off of? Because I've only compiled like a brief again, I've only compiled like a brief, retrospective so that we can get into the now without taking up too much time. That's why I was like being a little bit fast and loose.
Do you know what? I made a video about this actually, going over the Mizkif trauma. It was a little bit of a retrospective. It was one of the first videos that I made about it, or made on my channel actually 5 months ago.
I think the big things that everybody's looking for in this call right now is to find out how much information did Mizkif have about everything that happened beforehand, and did he like send people over to Adri's house to try to get this?
Miz,
and I was willing to lose.
Pause.
Like that
just
day.
pause real quick. No, pause real quick. I need you to hear what you just said. Do you understand? Sending Maya because she's liked, trusted.
Eric was there, and then not me.
Wait.
I didn't.
Sending an authority
figure.
figure.
I knew that if I went train, it would have looked immediately like a power play because it would have. If I went there and I was sitting there, at, 30k Andy against these people, it's going to look like a power play and it's going to look bad. The reason
Come on. If I went there, it would have looked like a power play. So I sent my girlfriend instead. So it was a power play, but what you just wanted to avoid the appearance of it is what it sounds like. And I think, to be fair, that's what it is. Through the situation, I think he genuinely did want to know what the situation was. Maybe they did wonder if it could be, like, resolved in private, right? But at the end of the day, they put a good amount of pressure, and I believe Maya helped rewrite the twit longer. Maya helped rewrite the twit longer.
Is that true, Dickers? Is that true? Can you verify this? Can you substantiate this in any way?
Now, some people have phrased that as Maya approved the twit longer.
Yeah.
Adriana didn't put out
so it was true.
her tweet until Maya approved the twit longer. Some people have said she helps write it. Somehow, right, Maya had some level of influence over what would appear in the final twit longer. Herself being a huge streamer.
It's because Maya is much more liked. People respect her, and I feel like Maya can talk to these girls because I want to know what the fuck went on with my best friend. I care. I really care.
Miz,
and I was willing to lose.
Pause.
Like that
Just
day.
pause real quick. No, pause real quick. I need you to hear what you just said. Do you understand? Sending Maya because she's liked, trusted, and a girl. You don't understand how much worse that is. Do you know what you're saying?
Yeah, there's obviously manipulation tactic being employed here.
No.
Not only sending an authority figure for the power play, but somebody that would be, more easy to communicate with in regards to potential sexual assault allegations in order to protect a friend. That is an incredibly underhanded ploy.
No, Train. If I sent myself as a 30,000 viewer streamer, that is way. I think that should.
You're sending.
Okay, I'm trying real quick.
Wasn't Maya Higa just like a 20,000 viewer streamer? Like, this is like Twitch aristocracy shit.
I'm trying to.
They went there to find out. Certainly no pressure was placed, I'm sure. Yeah. But even if they did want to, find out, I could understand that, right? I could believe that would be the case. Wait for the tweet. You know she's going to put out a twit longer. Oh, you want to know what's going on? I guess you can wait for the twit longer then, can't you? Like, I don't understand why that isn't a take.
We'll give you two potential interpretations because they get canceled. But on Mitch's end, the story that he's representing is, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And if I go over there to ask questions, it's going to look really bad. And she over even to find out what happened to Slick, because if I do go over there, like, it's going to look really bad.
Mitch and your girlfriend, it's an extension of yourself, and it's even worse because now it's under the guise of trust.
Well, so here's what happened. Mitch got there. Mitch was basically there, and he from what.
Not only have Mizkif and Maya got like a personal relationship, right? Because they're dating, or they were at the time, right? They've also got a professional relationship in OTK, and they've got other associations too, right? So it's not just, oh, my non-streamer girlfriend who's like going over there to ask casually as a stranger, right? Maya Higa has a reputation.
What I've heard, he just played with the dog, is what I told.
Mitch, it was basically, if you want to know, like,
Mitch is a fucking moron.
Okay, just be aware of that. It has enemies.
Maya, you need to go there.
Painting a very different narrative.
Everything that we've said in this call adds up completely. Like, we were.
This is it.
Yeah, we were in Slick's room when we were about to go to Adriana Lee's house or whatever. Barry wasn't there yet. It was me, Matt, Slick, and Maya. And then, you know, Miz was saying exactly what he just said in the call. He was like, you know, you were even telling me I shouldn't go. You should just send Maya because she's a girl and she'll relate and shit. And then, like, me going there, well, yeah, and, like, that was pretty much it. Like, yes, Miz definitely
His stream
knew,
was funny, yeah.
like, the situation and how to play it to benefit his friend and wanted that to happen. That is what
Of course,
yes.
he's my best friend. Of course I want to make...
Yes, Miz definitely call. He was like, you know, you were even telling me I shouldn't go. You should just send Maya because she's a girl and she'll relate and shit. And then, like, me going there... Well, yeah, and, like, that was pretty much it. Like, yes, Miz definitely knew, like, the situation and how to play it to benefit his friend and wanted that to happen.
Mitch knew how to play the situation to benefit his friend, who was accused, by the way, of sexual assault. And then what does Mitch say?
Of course, he's my best friend.
We've got him.
All right.
He just admits to it in the call there.
All right, okay. I feel like that's enough I feel like that's everything we need to watch then. I feel like this is enough. I'm pretty sure everything is factually verified. Mizkif was definitely trying to, well, I'm not going to say definitely. There's enough information to suggest that Mizkif was trying to run a plot or trying to run a plan to at least protect his friend from the public eye of these allegations. That's why Trainwrecks said the things that he said. And that's why now we can move on to these tweets. Yeah, this is unironically all we need. I'm not going to make any, like, you know, definitive claims. I'm not going to make any definitive claims because, you know, that's dangerous. I don't want to be fucking defamed. But, yeah, there's enough suggestibility here. There's enough information to suggest that there was some sort of plot to try to discredit or at least clean up or at least play a little bit of damage control towards allegations that would have come out against Crazy Slick from Adriana Lee about a potential sexual assault, sexual misconduct. So Mizkif's reputation has been in the gutter since then. People have largely turned away from Mizkif. And there was even Diggers, do you recall that drama where Mizkif punched what was his name? Mitch Jones. Do you want to call in for that? Do you recall what that was?
I was at his house, we were arguing, and then I asked him for a ride home. Get in his car, we're still arguing, and that's when...
Hello?
Dude, the Mitch Jones getting punched in the face shit was so funny. I mean, horrific. It was a vicious assault, but very, very fucking funny.
The only reason why I remember the fight, the only reason why I remember that fight is because the guy was driving a Porsche.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, okay. So the reason why it actually happened isn't completely known.
Mm-hmm.
So far as I'm aware, I don't think it actually ever got, like, released why that happened. But after that, I believe he and Mitch Jones were kind of done.
Yeah.
It didn't really change too many associations, but it just kind of showed people that, damn, yeah, he's kind of fucking losing his mind. Apparently, he was abusing steroids at the time. I think he's been relatively open about that.
Yeah.
And I think there was also something about drug addiction.
There was, I was about to say, one of the biggest conversations that went on around the time was substance abuse. Yes, I recall.
Yeah. And so that may have led to it. But I think Mizkif just felt like his life was in a really, really bad position at the time. And I think he was struggling with mental health as well as other stuff.
So he took he took a jab.
Taken out on his friend.
Yeah, he took a jab. Yeah.
Well, he took a jab. He took quite a few. Yeah, he kicked him out of his fucking car.
Yeah, you know what? I believe that was it. Hold on. Let me play this real quick. I believe that was it, actually. No, I think you got it on the head. You jogged my memory. I'm pretty sure that was it. I remember the coverage of this back in the day.
I've passed this part of the neighborhood where the camera caught the assault, and I have the evidence right here. So that was right before the assault. This is directly after the assault.
Trash! Want to do it again? Huh? You said you could take me 7 times. You didn't listen to yourself. You're drunk and on cocaine. I've had to talk to you with a friend. You're treating me like shit. You think you're gonna kill myself. And and all you can say is fuck you. It's all you can do is say fuck you. You treat me like shit. You said, come on. You pulled me out of the car. You said, let's go. You can't say let's go.
So I got knocked out cold, and a major issue with this is that he continued to beat on my face.
Is that true? He didn't continue to beat on his face, did he? Or was it like was it just one punch? Who instigated? Do you recall? Or are we just believing Mitch at Mitch at his word in this case?
Well, no, I would not believe Mitch Jones at his word ever, to be honest. He's a huge fucking sympathy beta, huge liar, and he'll say whatever is fucking necessary to make himself look better in any given situation. But no, it was a pretty vicious assault from what I believe. I think he did have to go to the hospital over it.
Yeah, but the video
rough.
so far, the video so far as it showed, we don't really see a vicious assault. We don't see multiple punches. That's only what he describes.
I think there was evidence at the time that showed that his face was bleeding. I think by all accounts he was beaten up pretty fucking bad by Mizkif.
Yeah. And there's also
interest of Mizkif here. I think the most interesting thing, at least so far as Mizkif's character, constantly blaming other people for making himself seem suicidal. It's very interesting, isn't it?
No, yeah, I've never
made him feel suicidal.
No,
Destiny,
I've
Brainwrecks,
never
Ariana.
Yeah, I've never liked Mizkif. Mizkif seems like the type of insecure little bitch to get pissed off or seriously agitated at every turn and deflect on somebody else. There's multiple instances, at least scrolling through YouTube right now of Mizkif lashing out at somebody.
Yeah, and every single time that he gets annoyed at somebody, every single time that he feels like somebody's wronged him, they've made him feel suicidal. They've driven him to the point of suicide. His friends, his enemies, literally everyone. At any point in time that Mizkif is feeling upset about something, you can guarantee he will try and say that this person has made him feel suicidal. Every single time.
Now that we have all of that information, we can finally dive into why so many people have recently started taking an issue with Mizkif. And it's not just recent, as I said earlier in the beginning. This is something that has been boiling for the past 2 years. In cooking, it's been boiling. Silky explained why he does not like Mizkif.
Don't fuck with him is on a simple level of, yo, he being bitter because the nigga said, what does he do with FaZe, bro? When that nigga said that, I swear I did not give a fuck. I'm just like, okay.
He said that?
Yeah, I'm like,
oh, so fuck him then.
No, but it wasn't even that. I'm like, yo, this nigga, I'm like, I just look at him, he's another dick rider. In terms of, obviously his previous past, shit like that, I give second chance to people that I know. I don't know him from a hole in the wall, bro. And nigga, the shit that I've seen and the shit that I've heard, bro, you gotta understand, bro. Bruce was in OTK, right?
Lacy takes back Mizkif's invite to the FaZe party after Silky's comments.
That's completely valid. Obviously, if other people don't want someone there, I didn't know that there was anything with Mizkif, to be honest. I didn't even know. If I'm being when I invited him, I had no idea there was an issue. But now that I know there's an issue, obviously he's not going to come if other people have an issue. If my other friends have an issue with him, obviously, I just didn't know. I didn't know. But that's fine. I mean,
right? Okay, so Mizkif will try to downplay why people have a problem with him. Mizkif will try to downplay why people think negatively of him. Mizkif will try to downplay and make it seem like the world is just out to get him. When no, in reality, people have at least, I don't think Lacy does because Lacy doesn't understand what the fuck's going on ever. But he'll try to downplay and pretend like he's above it all, when in reality, people have genuine concerns and genuine reasons to not like this guy.
First of all,
he'll play the victim, he'll play like he's being dealt a wrong hand, but in reality, in the past, it is evident that he has attempted to deal other people a bad hand.
Classic. Do you guys think it's exhausting? I'm tired. Ugh, just so stupid. Who has more subs, me or Silky? That's what matters. Dude, you chose LA. You think that this is...
That's what matters? Evidently not to them. Evidently not to them.
The deterrence of me living in LA or not is Silky saying I'm not allowed to go to the FaZe Clan house. I moved to LA because I want to enjoy my life, because I have a lot of fun here, and I have a lot of...
You moved to LA because it's evident that most people in where was he? Dallas or Austin? I believe it was Austin. You moved to LA to escape the issues from Austin. You want to like start fresh with a different crowd of people.
Friends here.
But like it's evident that the people even in LA don't like you.
That I enjoy. Silky has 11,000 subs. He has 11,598.
And of course, this motherfucker will try to like use his clout to justify. We'll try to use like his clout to make it appear as if he's like a much more prominent, a much more like important individual that should be allowed to intermingle with these people. When no, these people take issue with you just because they don't like you. Your clout is irrelevant to people liking you.
Okay, we need to beat Silky's sub count, otherwise he's right. All right, let's address this and talk about this. Let's just watch it.
I've seen a lot of people on the list that when I seen the list, I say, yo, I'm not jacking them. I'm personally here saying, right now, bro, I don't care, bro. Mizkif tries to censor the door, he's not getting inside. No. We do not f with weird people. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. He's gonna see this clip. I don't care. You're not getting inside.
We do not fuck with weird people.
I seen Lacy invited him to the party. I'm retracting that invite. It's not happening, King.
And then Lacy, as we saw from the previous clip, does agree to this. He does agree to this.
Oh. Like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe when I see his name on. I said, what the fuck? I said, do y'all know about this nigga? Like, what the fuck? Have y'all seen this nigga when it comes to black people? Come on, bro. Yeah.
Have you seen this when it comes to black people?
Word. No racist in disguise in the crib. We good. We don't need that.
Listen, Silky claims I'm a closeted racist, but I was never able to come out of that closet because I lived with 3 black people for years who are still some of my best friends. I love those guys. You know them very well. E-Rob.
I mean, it's impossible to tell what the dynamics between him and his friends are behind the scenes, or what they've said, or what other people have said about him. So,
Darion and Russell. I don't
know if you want to take him at face value.
Talk to them almost every day. They're still my close friends who I've lived with for years. I'm not here to tell people I'm friends with black people, therefore I'm not racist. Instead, I have...
How can I possibly be racist? My best friend is black.
For years.
Has Mizkif always been this fucking idiotic? Has Mizkif always been this fucking stupid?
Let my actions speak for who I am.
I'm not gonna remove from him that that people did say the N-word, in abundance back in the day, but who didn't, right? I'm not gonna detract from that. But to seriously utilize that, as as a distraction from potential criticisms that, people might actually have as a concern for you, I feel is a bit dishonest.
This was also a time where FaZe Clan was very popular for their edginess in Call of Duty as well. This was edgy behavior that people had. I also grew up in MMORPGs. I grew up with World of Warcraft and RuneScape, and I promise you that those logs that were leaked, I said way worse things than that. I said way worse things than that.
Yeah?
About every race. I was racist towards everybody because I was just a massive edgelord.
Don't worry, guys. I hate everybody equally. Don't worry. I hate everybody equally. How can I be racist if I hate my black girlfriend? No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Sorry.
I said things all the time when I was a kid.
Look. Okay. You know what? Fuck, dude. I'm being facetious. It's like it is stupid to hold somebody accountable for the stuff in the past that they did like 10 years ago when stuff like this was more acceptable, and people have like learned to grow past stuff like this. It is a bit unfair. It's very unfair to hold people accountable for stuff they did in the past like that. When it's like a very, very low stakes, very, very low trouble, very, very low problem. But I'm pretty sure that somebody like Mizkif is just utilizing that as a distraction from other stuff that is probably being talked about behind the scenes. And he just doesn't, and he's like banking on people never knowing what exactly it is that is being talked about.
Balls! Like, you give people second chances, and that's understandable. I mean, Silky doesn't know me at all. He's giving Neon a second chance. He's giving Stinky Balls a second chance. He doesn't know me, so therefore he doesn't want to give me a second chance, and I understand. Silky wants to claim I'm a terrible person for my actions of 7 years ago, but he hangs out with people consistently that have admitted that they've said similar or worse things throughout the years, yet they're invited.
No, this motherfucker's deflecting very hard. This motherfucker's deflecting incredibly hard from, like, genuine issues that people might understand from you. From, again, years in the past. There are good reasons why people would dislike you besides just being an edgelord back in 2016. This sort of like obfuscation and deflection is absolutely gross to me.
With open arms, and a lot of them have said things way more previous than what I've said. And then Silky also says that Neon is invited and that he likes to give second chances. But that makes more sense for someone like Neon because Neon's a friend. I'm not Silky's friend. I don't know Silky, so he doesn't want to give me a second chance, and if at all, or stinky balls. I understand. Just want to let everyone know. I do understand that my reputation is not the best. Well,
yeah?
Miz does not have the best reputation when it comes to people. It's interesting because a lot of the viewers,
yeah,
I do have a good reputation with. I've seen the comments. A lot of people are defending me. They're saying,
yeah, a lot of people are defending you. This motherfucker, dude. This gross, dishonest motherfucker. This gross, dishonest motherfucker, dude. Yeah, your fans are probably going to defend you. People that don't understand your history are probably going to defend you. People that don't really understand what you've done in the past, conversations that you've had, tactics that you try to employ, will probably come to defend you. But people who are aware of your history are not going to like you. And that is fair game.
Why is Miz not invited but other people are? Why is this, that, and this? This is also a FaZe Clan party. I mean, bro, you don't think FaZe Banks said stupid shit back in the day? Hell yeah, he did. He admits it. We all did. We all said dumb shit back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think the conversation is exclusively about liking. I don't think the conversation is exclusively about, you know, liking somebody over stuff that they've said in the past. It's more than that.
He's trolling? Is he trolling? Wait, so then maybe Silky's just trolling me. Maybe I am still invited. This was just a giant joke.
Dude, what a fucking... Oh my god. The amount of cope that comes from this guy is so gross.
Motherfuckers have ban lists, though. So I'm gonna keep it real. XQC is on my ban list. XQC is not invited to my party, bro. XQC is not allowed to come to my party. He is on my ban list. We all got to put in band members, and XQC is on my ban list. He's not coming, okay?
It's like I said, it's not a big deal that I'm not invited. We'll figure it out, chat. We'll do something.
It's not a big deal that I'm not invited. Proceeds to cry about how people perceive that he's a racist, and that people don't like him, and that they like other individuals who have said bad stuff. Proceeds to like whataboutism, deflect and project on other people for 12 minutes. For 12 minutes.
Else.
Yeah, bro. Alright. Okay. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. Alright, bro.
I feel like I'm so far in the deep end, I might as well keep swimming. You smell me? Like, fuck streamers. Fuck all of them.
Yep.
I don't even care. I don't even care.
Fuck everybody. Fuck FaZe Clan. Fuck the fourth floor. Fuck streamers. Fuck all of them.
Yep.
Fuck everybody.
Also, thank you for
fuck
the 10
FaZe
Canadian.
Clan. Fuck the fourth floor. Fuck OTK. Fuck everybody. I'm just gonna start being a solo streamer. I never needed anybody. They needed me. At the end of the day, I was always supporting them, but they never supported me at the end. So fuck all these people, bro.
We should just do a therapy session.
No, I'd already talked to my offline chat today.
Oh.
There's no way.
Straight up.
There's no way that he's like genuinely saying this. I never needed them. They needed me. Dude, this guy has like so many underlying problems. This guy, dude. How can anybody like seriously sit around and like this guy?
Like fuck this shit.
I wouldn't even clout shark this guy's dick, even if it, dude. I wouldn't even dick suck this guy for like a fucking ounce of relevancy. That's how much I fucking dislike this guy.
Fuck everybody. I'm a 30-year-old man. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm living my life the way I want to live it.
I'm a 30-year-old man, yet he's acting like a fucking 14-year-old scorned ex. You're so desperate to be enjoyed enjoyed by these people. You're so desperate to be liked that you're projecting.
The end. So fuck all these people, bro.
We should just do a therapy session.
No, I'd already talked to my offline chat today.